What's up? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Dakota.
And this is the Bourbon and Business Podcast,
where we interview successful businessmen and women to let you in on why success doesn't have a single formula to follow.
We also have a little bourbon tasting along the way because why not?
Why not?
So guys, please enjoy this episode and let us know your thoughts at Bourbon and Business Podcast on Instagram.
Coming to you from the Bourbon and Business Studio here at the AC Hotel in Ridgeland, Mississippi. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Dakota.
This is the Bourbon and Business Podcast. How you doing this morning, Dakota?
I don't know, man. I feel like I need to flex, but it's just not enough.
Be careful. Be careful, you're going to pull something.
I know. My muscles might pop from all the exercise I've been doing.
You going to introduce our guest to us?
Yeah, I do. Today we have special guest Bart Tompkins, founder of Body by Bart. Bart, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah, glad to have
Thanks
you.
for making me look so small.
And then what are we sipping on, Dakota?
We are sipping on something strong this morning for 8 a.m. It's the Hell Rider, Ride or Die. Are you riding or dying? Do not drink and drive.
Yeah.
Just
Please
reminded
don't.
me of that.
I don't know. I'm a little confused on this one. It's probably the first time.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's when you taste it, you'll see it's a very unique taste. Kind of like a Fireball, but not as spicy as a Fireball.
It's like an intro to Fireball.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't love it. I'm gonna have to give it a 5.0.
Okay.
But if you like Fireball and you think Fireball is a little too spicy, this may be the drink for you. You may love it. So if you want a bottle of this, go to Cheers Vineyard in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. We appreciate Cheers for their sponsorship.
Yep.
And we're going to get to the podcast.
Yeah.
So, Bart, we appreciate you coming on. We'd like to always take this first part of the podcast, just tell our listeners where you're from and then how you got into bodybuilding.
Okay. So from Tupelo, Mississippi, but 15 minutes outside in Shannon, Mississippi. That's where I went to high school. And with bodybuilding, it started basically football was a sport. Then the coach was not the best. So then it drove me to where at 17, I was in school at 5 a.m. or at the gym at 5 a.m., go to school, go to football practice, go back to the gym. And it was like that all the time. Somebody told me to do a bodybuilding show at like 4 weeks out from where the show was. Didn't know what it was. Just did it, lost 100 pounds, 8 months. Then the rest was history.
So you cut 100 pounds while you were in high school.
8 months, yeah.
So were you...
Somebody out there is going,
Yeah.
so call him yes on that.
So were you lifting before that, or were you like all of a sudden, hey, I'm going into this in 8 months. I've never really lifted that much. I'm going to drop 100
Started
pounds.
lifting 4 months before it.
Okay.
Before I was
Wow.
like actually being serious, like it was the 8 month span.
So how did you do in that competition?
I got first in the senior division.
Wow.
And then I
Out of how many?
obviously
Out of how many?
1 of 1. That's the funny. That's why I'm going into the last place in open classes. Because obviously with me, I would just look like a guy on stage with abs for the first time. Was not a bodybuilder.
Take our listeners through. So how old were you then?
17.
So at 17, what made you decide, hey, I'm about to cut 100 pounds and be serious about this?
So relationship, abusive home life with a stepfather. And so then that went to a point of hostage at gunpoint. And then it was like, okay, this is my outlet to push through everything and also just find the way to walk through it.
Mhm.
And literally I never looked back.
What has that done for your mental health that you would contribute to the gym as far as like from that early childhood to now as well? How much has that done for your mental health?
I would say bodybuilding is what's done it. The gym, yes, plays a factor in bodybuilding, but it's the fact when you have to learn how to be that disciplined,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can't make yourself do. And that's the thing is that's what bodybuilding is personal development. Like entrepreneurship is personal development times 100.
Mm-hmm.
Add bodybuilding on top of it's another 100.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you are fast paced in life. Because I'm only 28.
Yeah.
Or I'll be 28 in September.
Well, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. When you talk about discipline, a lot of people in business, we see their discipline in their business, obviously, but, obviously most of the time you can look at someone from a health perspective and see if they have much discipline there. And I think, there is some truth to, I would say arguably the hardest thing to be disciplined on is, really our appetite. And I think that people, if you can master that and say, hey, I'm not going to let, me wanting to go get a McDouble rule me that I can control that. And then I think that spills into your business. If you can be really disciplined here with your health,
Yep.
not only does it give you more energy and things like that throughout the day, but you're like, hey, if I can be disciplined here, I for sure can be disciplined on what I need to do in the office.
1,000%. I mean, also it goes into like the discipline areas other people miss.
Mhm.
Do you know who you are?
Mhm.
And that's where most people, they don't do, like, I tell people all the time, like when I moved back, fast forwarding to the business year of moving back from Nashville to Tupelo, I was on an apartment floor for a week with a dog, just making it by. That's when I started journaling 2 times a day, reading personal development books. That's the area people lack.
Mhm.
For
I
sure.
think there's a lot. I've heard countless stories about
Yeah.
people in the bodybuilding world who sleep in their car. They sleep on the floor. They couch surf. They do whatever it takes
Yep.
to get to that next level, to develop um, that next level in life to where they can get to where they win that competition finally and it pays off, right? Or whatever the case may be. And I think you're right. That discipline is just, it's next level. It
It
has to
is.
be, because you're talking about the body, which is a living thing made up of billions and billions, trillions almost of cells,
Yep.
which are all alive in and of themselves that make up your body. So like when you're training something that's that complex, that's that systematic, it's got to be dialed in. Yes, it has to be dialed in.
Yeah.
And everybody's body is different too.
Every
Like,
single one.
it's not going to be, you can't just go take generic advice out there on the internet and be like, yeah, that's going to work for me too. It doesn't work that way.
A lot of it is that you can take advice. It's just, do you know how to interpret it?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. So, because I think probably most people, first intro to bodybuilding would be like Arnold,
Yeah.
and so there's still a lot of, thought process around, the gyms in the 80s and the 90s on what was going on then. How is bodybuilding in 2026? How is it different from that time period?
It's more accepted for sure. But I mean, also, you're more educated on the process of doing things in a more efficient way that is not always going to be healthy, but it's better than what it was back in the 80s.
Mhm.
And that's, I mean, simple, because you can't ever say it's healthy.
Correct.
You're doing stuff that are risk and you're going to accept those risks, but you also have to accept them for 10 years down the line, especially if you're chasing a pro card. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just more accepted. It's more educated, more thought out. Like preps back in the day were 12 weeks. I prep clients 20, 30 weeks.
Mhm.
And so like they're going a slower dieting process. So you actually bring a fresher physique. You can factor in life's uncontrollable variables in a contest prep because life doesn't stop for bodybuilding.
What advice would you give? So, because obviously everybody's not going to be a bodybuilder. That takes a special mindset. It's kind of like being a, professional athlete. Some people are born to be a professional athlete. I think with
Guilty.
I think with bodybuilding, it's kind of the same thing. You've got to have a special mindset to be set apart to do
I
that.
think it's a trauma. You have to experience a level of trauma.
Yeah, and I can see, and I think even with professional athletes, I think that there's a lot of those people are driven by something that happened in their
Yep.
past that they're,
Oh, no doubt.
or even the not even in athletics, even in business and life. A lot of the most successful people have something that happened in their life that, they look back at and say, hey, I'm never going there again.
Yep.
And, the only way I can make sure I don't go there again is if I can control these disciplines in my life to make sure that I don't get back there.
Yep.
So I think that is, a very real thing. And I think, there's a lot of people that trauma either breaks them or it makes them, and I'm not saying that as a weird cliche, but that, I mean, it
That
is
was
true.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
Poetic,
yeah,
really.
I need to copyright that. But, but no, where I was going with that though is talk to our listeners, because there's going to be listeners that listen to
Yeah.
this that says, hey, I'm not going to be a bodybuilder, but I would like to take control of my health. What advice would you give them on a daily basis just to be healthier when they're, making their eating decisions and things like that, that's going to, lead to longevity in their careers as far as
Yeah.
just being healthy?
I think more so first thing is stay off social media. Stop taking advice from there because you don't have the education to interpret who's telling you what's right. So that's where you have to look at it as, do you walk 10,000 steps a day? Start there. It's simple. Do you drink 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight you weigh? That's the 2 most important things. I've literally had gut dysbiosis be fixed by giving somebody enough water.
Mhm.
And there's just like most people that have gut issues, it's water intake for the gut. But then also you have working out. I tell people 2 times a week, just be consistent at first. Start with consistency because that's the thing that matters most.
Mhm.
And do you have to work out for 3 hours?
Bodybuilders don't do that. I mean, that is the thought process, but, like, no, most bodybuilders, you're in there less. I mean, I'm in there less than 45 minutes a day,
Really?
like 2, 3 times a week right
Yeah.
now just to maintain. I mean,
So that's all it takes.
yeah.
You don't have to be in the gym for an hour and a half
No, I mean,
on
even
the
the
stair stepper.
clients, even lifestyle clients I have, like, the people that do 2 hours on the stair stepper, it's like, what's going to equate to you living longer?
Mhm.
More lean muscle tissue. If you're on the Stairmaster for an hour, you're burning muscle and body fat because you're not doing the habits outside the gym work.
Mm. How important, how much more important is habits outside of the gym versus in the gym?
I would say if you can't be consistent with those, don't expect a reward from the gym, the work you put in.
Well, let's talk about injury. So obviously, as we all age,
Yep.
you know, that's
What are you trying
a
to say, Tom?
I'm just,
Call it, say it.
you know, I just
I'm
recently,
old.
I just
I
recently,
know.
recently got off crutches. So, you know, it's just one of those life things.
I
now.
woke up in my back.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
talk about injury and how, because obviously, you know, if you spend any amount of time in the gym, at some point you're going to deal with an injury. The mindset to be able to work, sometimes, you know, you need to work through those.
Yep.
Maybe you rest that particular spot that's injured, but you still show up to the gym and work other muscles, or, you know, how to maybe avoid some injuries that you're running into in the gym chronically.
I think most injuries that are avoided is from just simply understanding how to lift, where you're actually, most people on bench press, they hurt their shoulder or pec at some point. It's not because of the bench press, it's because the incorrect form that they're taught, that they're unaware of that they've been taught. I mean, that's the thing is you're unaware of how you're lifting. If you haven't had a coach, like I turned pro, then hired the top trainer in the world for like exercise execution at golf. And like, I basically forgot everything, how to relearn how to lift.
Yeah.
And so it was a humble pie moment of like, okay, there are levels to this. And everybody that thinks they know how to lift in the gym, and then they think the carbs, while they're not seeing progress, is actually both.
Mhm. Well, and I think too, you know, with those incorrect form, if you've been doing it for a, you know, decent amount of time, it's muscle memory at this point.
Yes.
You know, so breaking that, you're definitely gonna need somebody there
Yes.
watching to see like, hey, you know, what the heck are you doing right now?
Well, it's like how many people can break their own bad habits and create new ones?
Right.
The
Yeah.
discipline it takes to be able to find something to replace that bad habit with, to then create the routine of the new habit. They're not, most 99% of people aren't gonna do it themselves.
I had a coworker, and he had a brother who was training for the NFL Combine, and he was my coworker's like a fitness fanatic. He
Sure.
loves it, right? And he's dialed down his eating, training, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. He's great. He also competes in karate. Shout out to Deontay on a international level,
Okay.
right? So he's going to like Romania and all kinds of places to compete. I know he's a beast, but his brother was training for the NFL Combine, and he was like, "Hey, Deontay, I need to lift a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time for a certain amount of reps."
Yep.
And he was asking for some advice on it, and he's like, "All right, well, let me see you do it." And he was doing the weight on bench, and he was like, "Oh man, your breathing is all off."
Yep.
And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You got to breathe in and out at certain times in the lift." And he was able to do the weight, but just
Yeah.
like all it took was some breathing exercises.
There's
Like he had the strength, but he just didn't have the right proper technique. And it was so small as to where it was literally breath work is all.
That's
it
a
took.
very simple point of like what it is in training. Like that is a massive factor. Like on a squat, on the way down, you're supposed to inhale,
Yeah.
then you blow out on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do the opposite,
Yeah.
or just don't know, or they just hold their breath the whole time.
Or they just don't even go near the squat.
I don't even breathe.
And you can tell because they turn blue in the face after
Yeah.
about 3 reps. And you're like, you need to breathe.
Truthfully, I've seen some
They're like, what's a
athletes-
squat?
I mean, it'll add 10 reps to your. I mean, anywhere from 3 to 10 reps, I would say the average across the board is what somebody's going to add if they breathe right.
That's wild.
Well, let's talk about some supplements. So the first one I want to talk about is creatine.
Oh, the most controversial
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
aside from GLP.
What are your thoughts on creatine, and is it a good daily supplement to, if you are training, to add to what you're doing?
I mean, I think at this point, it's just a matter of most people don't understand supplements like creatine. They're not a performance enhancing where you feel the effects.
Right.
Or you ever really notice it. More or less over time, you're going to notice your joints are less achy from actually having hydration in the muscle cell and things like that, as well as the cognitive benefits now are the biggest thing. Like, I mean, 10 milligrams a day is, you can't argue the studies now at this point after
Right.
how many years it's been. It's a beneficial supplement for long-term health. But now the new thing is the cognitive benefits when you get up to 20, 30 milligrams, or 20, 30 grams a day.
Okay. And what about, as far as creatine, do you do that people typically suggest people cycling off of it at any point in time, or is it something that your system deals with?
Consistent.
Yeah.
You don't have to front load it. You don't have to water load it. The issue is people that see water retention starting creatine, they don't drink enough water in the day.
Right.
So how is their body ever going to flush and detoxify what it needs to if you don't have enough fluid in there?
Mhm.
Because I mean, the thing is, I tell people is too, most people that have high blood pressure, first thing doctors cut sodium. No, add your water intake. I have people that are taking in high amounts of sodium that are diabetics, they have high blood pressure, and their blood pressure goes down because the water intake's up and it can actually flush everything out.
Right.
And then if you monitor the potassium, because like water follows salt. It's like when you're a carbon bodybuilding athlete, if you have sodium in the muscle, that's where the water is going to go, and you have to keep it very minuscule so you get that dry look. Well, if you have water high, you're just going to constantly flush things out and get the proper detoxification overnight.
Okay. And then what about
Synthol.
what?
Synthol, the
Oh,
Popeyes.
I just stay away from that.
I thought you said menthols. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to help. What about
Stress level, man.
one thing I wanted to ask about, because we're hearing a lot about this right now, and this part may actually go viral because there's so many people out searching. But peptides.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about peptides. I know Dakota doesn't know anything about peptides.
I know that they exist.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What are peptides, number one? And I guess what are the
How do you get
potential benefits? And just remember to all our listeners, we are not doctors, so consult your physician on anything.
Yeah.
Yes, please consult with your doctor.
But so what are peptides?
They're amino acids. So amino acids your body already produces, you're just putting way more of them in. Like BPC 157 and TB 500, the main ones people would know for healing and skin, bone, joint health, things like that. The ones everybody wants that thinks it's the red pill is the GOP. And I mean, it's not. It's like all the celebrities you see losing weight, they look skinny fat is what you call it. They lose all the weight that they think is body fat. It's muscle. When you lose muscle, people that are losing that much, they're actually taking years off their life. Because the muscle's coming off and now you have less muscle than your body fat. That's why you get that look when they look lean, but it's just skin everywhere. And so that's where you have to, the doctor will give you the script, but he won't give you the habits to maintain the healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Why is that a thing? Why in the medical community do you think that, is it just demand? And
Well,
it's
I mean,
trying to meet demand?
I think it's simply the doctor's job is to keep you from dying, whereas my job is to keep you at optimal peak health performance.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, if someone is, for instance, I hate to throw a number out there, but if someone's, 400 pounds,
It is better.
they're running a risk of dying at any moment.
Yep.
Versus, if they can drop it through a GLP, like that's, I guess a more positive than them killing over from a heart
There's
attack.
trade-offs to every scenario
Right.
for sure. I mean, it's just, that's the thing. It's like I tell everybody, you have to look as the doctor is to keep you from dying, aka Band-Aid, most everything. Whereas if you truly want to fix the root cause, that's where I'm diving into your lifestyle. Do you wake up and keep your circadian rhythm at a certain time where you wake up, fall asleep, same time every day? Do you drink enough water? Do you have stress with kids and sporting events, but you're trying to make 5 days a week at the gym? Okay, let me tell you, 2 is going to get you progress, and let me show you that in 2-3 weeks, and then you're going to see more progress than ever. And it's simple things.
Gotta know your facts to play the game.
And, I think,
worked out.
one thing that you're talking about here, I think that there are tons of studies out there that show once we get to a certain age, I think it's in our 50s, 60s, the amount of muscle mass we have at that point kind of directly correlates
So why does it correlate though?
to how long we're going to live.
Think about this. How many people over 50 eat more than 1 meal a day or 2?
I have zero clue. Oh my.
Most people on the average eat 1-2 meals in their 30s. So if you're eating less as you get older, what are you getting less of? Protein. Muscle mass is going to come off without protein.
I did not know that. I guess I'm an outlier.
I mean, of course, yes.
Because I eat way more than 2 meals a day.
The Bible.
I'm going like 7, maybe.
The 2 meals ain't getting me to that.
I mean, the body is going to have, it's not going to put on muscle as efficiently. It's not going to hold it as efficiently. But if you also have a common trend of people eating less as they get older, well, you're already even more, you're at a disadvantage, but now you're at even more of a disadvantage in the muscle tissue.
No, it makes sense.
So true.
And I think like you're talking about, it all goes to if you are in the gym, working out, working those muscles, you're gonna crave that protein. You're gonna crave like, hey, I need something to feed my muscles because I'm in the gym doing this. Whereas if you're, I mean, not doing anything, you're not doing any physical activity, your body doesn't need as much fuel
Yeah.
to keep it going.
My favorite meme photo thing is like a comparison. I don't know if you've seen this or not. And it's like 70-year-old fitness influencer in America and then like 70-year-old Italian man in Italy. And he's like on a beach, like smoking a cigarette, like tan from head to toe, like has 3 glasses of wine a day, does this, does that, like doesn't track his calories or anything. And then over here, it's like everything is like super dialed in all the way out to age 70. And I like the comparison because a lot of longevity is tied into genetics, right? And where you are in the world as well, as far as environment.
It's truthfully tied into the standard your family held of the health habits they taught you on the way when you were coming up as a kid.
Mhm.
That's why I tell everybody all the time, all the habits that you see are what was passed down.
Yeah.
What did the parents do? That kids automatically gonna pick it up. That's why Mississippi's so far behind.
Mhm.
Well, and I think another thing for us to talk about here kind of leads into what you were talking about, different parts of the world, people live longer. I think a lot of it has to do with our actual food that we're eating
For
here.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about, and I think that, with everything going on in the US, there is, a light being shined on this right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of our food is crap and has a lot of stuff in it that is very harmful to us.
For sure. I mean, I think the simple thing it comes down to is, yeah, there's a lot of it that's crap, but also a lot of people don't want to make the harder choice to just eat a chicken breast or eat 93 7 ground beef instead of 73 27.
Right.
And that's the main thing is like I've seen people that live to 100, but they just made better choices, even with the bad quality food.
Right.
So it's like, is there bad quality food? Yes, but also there's people that have poor standards.
Could you believe that Taco Bell was tied to the explosive diarrhea
No,
deal that we had?
it wasn't surprising at all.
My thing was like Taco Bell should have come out with a statement was like, we've been here. You've seen us.
Yeah.
This is a normal symptom. Like, I need to look at somebody else.
You guys know this wasn't new.
Now,
Tell our listeners, say that they're listening to this and they're like, hey, maybe I do need to get a coach.
yeah.
What would they expect from if they were coming to train with you? What would that look like?
So the thing is, I tell people I coach winners. Some hold trophies, some hold their kids with confidence by the pool. And at the end of the day, what it is like I have every resource and tool that I've helped over 400 people transform their life. And so therefore I have tools that you don't know you need that I'm going to teach you how to use, but I may not give you this one off the bat. I may tell you, hey, if you come to me, you can pay me money. I'm going to tell you get 10,000 steps a day. Why? Because people are anxiety ridden. If I give them too much variables at once, that's why they quit. That's why you see them quit the gym. They walk in with a bunch of people. They walk in with even a personal trainer. If you give them too much, they're overwhelmed. They're going to stop. They're going to fail. If you give them what they need and what you know they can accomplish and then they gain the confidence off of that, then you just stack 1% better days on top of it.
It's that resistance, right? I saw a
Yes.
fitness trainer, I think it was on LinkedIn the other day, and they were like, yeah, it was the same situation. They're like, I never give people more than they can chew because the least resistance I can create for somebody to have those healthy habits versus where they are now is the more likely they're going to take hold of those habits and they're going to create a part and become a part of their life.
I mean, the other thing is too, I tell people like I have daily habit forms that eventually get built into everybody's plan. I'll write specific journal prompts for where they're most negative in their mindset at,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll make them answer them every day.
Yeah.
And then now they have to develop the mindset to be able to sustain the habits long term. That's where most coaches will fail or trainers. And like also I'll have weekly touch point calls, 15 minutes if we have to the first 4 weeks. Because if I spend that extra time the first 4 weeks overextending, now you're better long term. And then also, I mean, the diet is simple. I mean, the workouts are simple. I even have people send me videos of their gyms. I'll set up tutorial videos specific to the equipment pieces that they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I go personalized, it's fully personalized.
You're like AI for them.
Yeah, because I'm better than AI because I care about their feelings.
Boom.
But, and I think
We're sorry, Rob.
you're touching on a very important topic here. And I think our listeners need to hear this. Even if you're not in the gym and you're in health, you do not care about your health. There's some people in the, hey, that's fine if you don't.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But you say you do care about your business, being able to start with small wins that are sustainable, you're not going to change your lifestyle and your habits by going out and saying, okay, I'm going to start working out exactly like Arnold worked out every day.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. one day of that, you're going to be so sore the next day, you're not even going to be able to get out.
I mean, they won't even get sore because
Yeah.
they don't know how to stimulate the muscle.
Right.
And that's the thing most people don't realize is like, you can't train. That's 10 years of reps experience.
Right.
And he didn't start out that way either.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, tell everybody to look at me. Literally 100 pounds in 8 months. Like I started from the bottom, came up in 5 years, and then built a coaching business.
Yeah. Well, that's inspiring. Dakota, I think it's a good time for you to give us your thoughts on what is that? Hell Rider.
Hell Rider.
I don't know
What
what
did you
else.
call it?
No, I'm not even going to say.
You
'cause
said
I'm-
full is all I
Yeah.
heard.
Full. Okay. Well,
I was going to say
Anyway.
full throttle.
full throttle.
It's an energy drink.
Hell Rider, full throttle. Yeah. Okay. Cool, dude. No burn, little flavor, ride or die. I'm riding 6.0. Over ice would be good, like maybe by a bonfire or something, like November, maybe December, January when it gets a little colder in Mississippi, but it's not my favorite ever.
Yeah. So that was our Waze Energy bourbon break. Make sure you check out our sponsor, Waze Energy. And we're going to go with a 5.5 on the Hell Rider. So if you want a bottle, go to Cheers Vineyard. And as we're closing out here, tell our listeners, say they hear this and say, hey, I need a coach.
I like that guy.
How do they get in touch with you?
So with me, if you go to my Instagram, basically with online coaches, your Instagram is your portfolio of results. Same thing with Facebook. You click the link in bio. I have over 100 free ebooks I send people almost daily for free. I literally tell people I want to give you so much value. Also, I've done 3,000 Facebook posts since January that are educational. And so that's where it's like there's all the information out there, but you still can't hold yourself accountable. That's where it comes in. And also, I build the roadmap specific to your lifestyle. If you have kids' sports games, I'm going to have you go in and tell me hour by hour what you do from the time you wake up till you go to bed for 7 days. Then I'm building your plan around that.
That's great.
Practicality.
Well, to all our listeners,
Results.
have you streamed this podcast?
Impressions.
If Dakota's just going to interrupt me, have you streamed this podcast? If you would just give us a rating, please, and follow us on social media, and we will see you next week.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
If you have any feedback or would like to be featured, reach out to us at bourbonandbusinesspodcast@gmail.com.
Or find us on Instagram at Bourbon and Business Podcast.
Thanks again for listening.
Follow us for more content and info on the next episode.